here's Brody Brazil.
I actually miss something from the 2021 shortened season. I do. Right? It was a weird year. I mean, no fans in the stands and travel restrictions. And yeah, I don't even want to get into remembering all of that. But there was one unique thing about the schedule beyond the fact that it was a condensed season and it was only interdivisional play. Do you remember that there were a lot of back-to-backs on the schedule? Like you would play the Minnesota Wild twice in a row. They'd come out to San Jose, play 2, and then fly out. And then the Sharks would go to Anaheim, play 2 in a row, and then fly up to Las Vegas, play 2 in a row, and then they'd come home, and the Kings would come up, and then they would play 2 in a row. I love the baseball-style series for hockey. I wish it would come back in some way, shape, or form. Now, I also like the fact that the Sharks play every other team in the league, so I realize this is complicated, right? Like, you're not going to be able to play the Devils back-to-back twice at home because it just doesn't work out that way. You need to play one at home, one on the road. So we're not going to entirely do this, but how about all of the divisional teams? Can the Sharks play and every other NHL team play their divisional opponents in sets of 2? Because like we saw today, the second game always involves a little bit more emotion, some fires, some carryover, some strategy changes, right? Like you really got a good read on your opponent. More than just the pre-scout, more than just the videotape. You actually got to play them in person, feel them out in person, understand them in person. And so what do you do for game 2? Do you bring the same game plan? Do you try a different strategy? Do you mix things up? If you beat them, do you try and win the same way again? I love the back-to-back sequences. I'll call them the baseball series, right? Because in baseball, teams play each other either 2 games in a row. That's semi-rare. It's usually 3-game series. But a lot of times it's a 4-game series too. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have them all the time. 4 is too much, 3 is too much, but I think 2 is doable in the NHL. And I'm not even asking for back-to-back nights. Like you could play Team X on a Thursday and then have Friday off and then play them again on a Saturday at the same rink, right? Home team stays the home team. This would cut down on travel. This would offer the opportunity of more off days in the same city because it's hard, right? Hockey's hard. You travel in, you get ready for the game, and then as soon as the game is over, on the jet, you're out of here. And it happens in a flash that you're all done with that city. It offers you a practice day in between that teams don't normally get. For a lot of reasons, for the fans, for the players, for the teams themselves, just to make things more interesting. It's amazing. It makes their travel more efficient, which I think we can all appreciate, but it also makes it more interesting and more appealing to everybody. And that's what this trip to not Berlin. I mean, it was partly for Berlin, but this trip to Prague for the Sharks against the Preds, that's what this was. Neutral city for both teams, right? But that type of series, I truly felt today's game had something additional that the first one didn't or couldn't, and it only had it because of the back-to-back games. Look at right off the opening draw. Ryan Johansson and Hurdle got into it. Hurdle high stuck him. Like there was something right off the opening draw that was a carryover. So I'm not saying I need to see a fight in every second game, but I want to see them be more interesting.